High in the Italian Alps, there is a village where no car has ever driven. Not one. Not even one. There is no road that reaches it. No highway. No parking lot. No traffic light. Just a cable hanging in the sky. Here is the strangest part. When Italy offered to build them a road, the people of this village said no. This is Chamois, the only municipality in all of Italy that you simply cannot reach by car. This is its story. Your journey begins in Buisson, a tiny hamlet at the bottom of the Valturna Valley, in Italy's Aosta Valley region. From here, a small cable car climbs nearly 700 meters up a sheer mountainside in barely 5 minutes. Cabin rises above pine forests and cliffs, and the valley floor falls away beneath you like a map. Then the doors open, and you step into a different world. Silence, clean air, and not a single engine anywhere. Chamois sits on a natural terrace at 1,818 meters, facing some of the highest peaks in Europe. The cable car runs from 7 in the morning until 10:30 at night, every single day of the year. Around 111 people live here permanently, scattered across 7 tiny hamlets on the high Alpine plateau. The heart of the village is Corgnolas, a cluster of stone and wood chalets around a small church square. There are no car horns, no exhaust fumes, no asphalt. The loudest sound is often cowbells drifting across the meadows. People move on foot, by bicycle, or in winter on skis and sleds. Children grow up never dodging traffic. Every house faces south, soaking up the alpine sun, with the jagged wall of the Alps filling the horizon. Life here looks like Italy from a century ago, but keeping it this way was a deliberate, radical choice. To understand Chamois, you have to go back to the years after the Second World War. Italy was booming. Cars were freedom. Every mountain village wanted a road, and the government was building them everywhere. Villages without roads were dying, as young people left for the cities and the valleys below. So when engineers proposed carving a road up to Chamois, everyone assumed the answer would be yes. Instead, in 1965, the villagers gathered and voted. 95% of them rejected the road completely. They chose something else instead, a cableway, a quiet steel thread connecting them to the valley and nothing more. Their neighbors thought they were crazy. A village turning down progress, turning down cars, turning down the future. But the people of Chamois understood something that the rest of the world would only realize decades later. So, how does a village with no roads actually work? Almost everything arrives the same way people do. Groceries, furniture, building materials, even washing machines ride up the mountain in the cable car from Buisson. The lift operators will even carry your luggage to your hotel, hauled on small electric carts and sledges. For emergencies, helicopters land in minutes. For daily life, a handful of small service vehicles handle the heavy work. In winter, snow is not a problem to be plowed away. It becomes the village's main road, crossed by sleds and skis. And for everything else, there is one of the most unusual pieces of infrastructure in all of Italy. In 1967, Chamois built the very first altiport in the country, a tiny airfield in the sky. Its grass runway is anything but normal. It slopes uphill at up to 20%. Pilots land facing uphill, letting the slope break the aircraft and take off downhill to gain speed over the void. Only small propeller planes and helicopters can use it, bringing supplies, visitors, and the occasional daring pilot. From above, the airstrip looks like a green postage stamp glued onto the side of the mountain. A village with no cars, but its own airport. Chamois refuses to fit into any normal category. When winter comes, Chamois transforms into one of the most peaceful ski resorts in the entire Alps. 16 kilometers of groomed slopes wind through the forests, rising to Le Point Sublime at nearly 2,500 meters. From the top, the view explodes across the valley to the Matterhorn, one of the most famous mountains on Earth. There are no crowds and no traffic jams at the lifts. Some mornings, you ski, completely alone. In summer, the ski runs become hiking trails, crossing meadows full of wildflowers and grazing cows. A short walk above the village lies Lake Lod, a small alpine lake reflecting the peaks like a mirror. Families ride the chairlift up with picnic baskets. Paragliders launch from the slopes and float over the rooftops. Whatever the season, the rhythm is the same. Slow, quiet, and completely disconnected from the world below. That philosophy earned Chamois a place among the Alpine Pearls, a network of car-free and sustainable mountain resorts. 25 villages across 6 countries belong to this circuit, but Chamois remains one of its purest examples. Tourism here is deliberately small. A few family hotels, some restaurants, and chalets that have stood for generations. There are no big resorts, no shopping streets, no nightlife, and that is precisely why people come. Visitors describe the same feeling. Within an hour of arriving, their shoulders drop and time slows down. In a world addicted to speed, Chamois sells the rarest luxury of all, genuine, unbroken silence. 60 years later, the vote of 1965 looks less like stubbornness and more like a prophecy. While alpine villages with roads filled up with traffic and parking garages, Chamois kept its meadows and its stars. A handful of young families still choose to raise their children up here, far from any traffic. The village that once refused the future may, in the end, have quietly protected it better than anyone else. Today, the cable car from Buisson costs just a few euros, and it runs every 30 minutes, all year round. You can visit for a day or stay for a week. Either way, you will leave your car behind. And maybe that is the real lesson of Chamois. Some places are only worth reaching if you slow down first. One village, one vote, and one cable hanging in the sky changed everything, simply by keeping everything the same. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe for more hidden places that most travelers will never find. Because the world is still full of secrets, and the next one is already waiting. See you there.